Baby Zhao, 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 baby Zhao.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we have a lot to talk about. As I'm sure you're all aware, the new 1.3 trailer or preview was dropped by miHoYo in the form of a live stream just a few days ago. And now we know pretty much everything there is to know about 1.3, which is awesome. Everybody's super hyped for Zhao. The new tower defense system looks like a lot of fun, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We got to talk about the Keqing banner, banners as a whole, and the future of Genshin. Because the Keqing banner may not only just set a precedent for future wishes, future rate-up systems, but may also have a lot of implications about the future of Genshin entirely. So without further ado, let's jump into that. First things first though, I always gotta plug my Twitch. You can find me live streaming every single morning, 9:30 a.m. PST. It's a whole lot of fun, so I recommend you check it out. You can hang out with me and then Guang all day long. But enough about that, let's talk about the banner. So first things first, the Keqing rate-up banner could mean that every single standard banner 5-star could be getting their own rate-up. Before, we all kind of just assumed that they would be locked behind the standard banner forever, but now Diluc, Jean, Mona, everybody is a viable candidate for their own banner, which could be a good or a bad thing. It's kind of a mix of both. A lot of people like myself have still not gotten every single character in the game, every 5-star, and so free-to-play budget players, they may now have an opportunity to get the characters they want, the 5-stars they want, which is fantastic for us. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, when you look at the big spenders, the whalers, they may actually take issue with it because they're the ones who spent money on these characters. If you guys aren't aware, there's a wish simulator website for Genshin where you could basically do fake wishes, and it provides a good example of how much you could potentially spend on the game if you were shooting for one character in particular, one weapon, whatever, and it could take up to thousands of dollars to get a single non-rate up, a single standard banner 5-star character. Assuming that some people who have the money have done this, it's probably going to piss them off that now everybody has equal access to it. I know it's kind of fucked up to say, and I don't empathize with whales at all, but miHoYo certainly does, or at least from a business standpoint, they certainly should. They're going to lose the favor of a lot of whale players who are a big portion of their revenue, of the money they make to further develop the game. Content creator whales could go either way. On one hand, you know, they have free content now, full constellation Keqing, gonna be an easy video, but they're still definitely taking a risk with this. It's not definitive yet, but likely that Keqing is also going to get a story quest to hype her up, get people excited to pull on her. That is currently the standard, the pattern when it comes to 5-star rate ups. But one issue with that when it comes to the other standard banner characters is that they already have story quests, everyone except for her and Chi-Chi, and it's very, very unlikely that miHoYo is going to continue any concurrent story quests at the moment. It would make more sense for them to introduce new storylines to other 5-star characters, to even 4-star characters, before continuing to work on and release the ones that we've already seen so far. So if Jean, if Diluc, if Mona get rate up banners, we might not see a story quest for that banner, which would suck. Unless they added story quests for some of the 4-star characters that appear on the rate up as well, in which case that would be a good thing. We haven't seen a single new 4-star one since the game released, but at the same time, this could very well be a one-off thing. It's definitely up in the air still. Whether or not they will continue this pattern, build off this precedent of a standard banner character as a rate up. A lot of people are speculating that it is just a fluke because obviously Hu Tao was supposed to be the other 1.3 character, and we could all assume that she's not going to be in this update anymore because of production issues, because they didn't finish her in time. Which leads us into another topic, that is the overall development of Genshin. Up until now, my pessimistic mind told me that the one thing, the main factor when it comes to Genshin's development is miHoYo's pursuit of profit. They're going to prioritize getting the brand new shiny rate ups into banners rather than actually developing the storyline, adding quality of life improvements. But 1.3 is the actual opposite of all that. From what we can tell, they're adding a ton of new features, an entirely new dynamic of gameplay with tower defense. The new interactive expeditions also look good. They're adding so much in-game stuff finally. Whereas character development, from what we can tell, is taking a back seat. They didn't develop Zhao off scratch, he was in the beta, and they spent time working on him, and then Hu Tao, who was not in the beta, isn't done yet, which hopefully means that they're just spending less time, fewer resources on developing new 5-star characters over quality of life stuff. This would be the ideal situation because there are a shit ton of characters in the game already, so keeping the actual in-game content, the stuff that you were playing on a day-to-day basis, new and fresh and exciting, should take priority over that. But it's also possible that my previous pessimism pessimism is still right. Hu Tao not being finished yet and throwing Keqing on a rate up as filler banner could also mean that development as a whole is going exceedingly slower than even they had anticipated. If they're having problems pumping out brand new shiny 5 stars, which I said before is probably their main objective, it doesn't mean good things for Inazuma. It doesn't mean good things for story progression as a whole, and we really won't know until 1.3 actually drops, until we flesh it out ourselves. But if MiHoYo is having problems with their main moneymaker in brand new 5-star characters to throw on banners to get people to wish, who's to say how behind they are when it comes to developing new regions? Maybe not Inazuma specifically, because it's been hinted at for a long time now that it's coming in 1.6, and I'm sure they've at least started development on Inazuma before the game's launch. So I still think it's safe to assume that we're going to be getting that in June, which is still, 9 months after launch. But when we think about Sumeru, Fontaine, and all the other regions after that, it's hard to imagine that they have physically started development on any of those. And if it's taking this long for Inazuma, then I am genuinely worried. While it is still a gacha game, a lot of people picked up Genshin thinking it was just a standard JRPG, and a lot of people are still playing the game because of that. Yeah, gacha is still fun and addicting, the mechanics don't seem stale yet, but if we're not getting new regions for years at a time, then I don't know how much longer a lot of people are going to be willing to keep playing Genshin. It really feels like the last thing on MiHoYo's mind is story development, and it's felt that way since before even 1.1. So delaying a new 5-star as hyped up as Hu Tao could either mean they're super behind on everything and we're not getting any actual good content for a long time, or it means that they're finally tapping on the brakes when it comes to the gacha elements of Genshin, that they're devoting more time, more resources, more manpower into developing the actual game, making events more immersive, adding new overall gameplay features, and of course, my favorite, progressing the story. Please! You cannot go 9 months without advancing the main plotline. That is insane. Another banner update that we can briefly go over is the fact that there's no new 4 stars yet again. They kind of teased us with Diona and Jin Yan, making us think that frequent brand new 4 stars was going to be a thing, but judging from the info we got from the live stream, it does look like there's going to be a full repeat, a full cycle of every 4-star character in the game already before we get any new ones, which kind of is a good thing. It wouldn't be fair to the Bennetts, the Razors, the Ningguangs if Fischl and her buddies got repeat banners, but they didn't. It also makes sense when you consider the standard banner as a whole, which is going to become so overflowed, so saturated in the coming months when new 4 stars are added. Right now, there's a 1 in 31 chance of you pulling the 4-star that you actually want from standard, and the more new weapons and characters that are going to be released, the less likely your chances are. So not getting any new 4 stars for a little bit could hopefully give MiHoYo enough time to sort that out. Maybe split the standard banner in 2, not splitting characters and weapons, but a set of characters and weapons in one, a set of characters and weapons in the other, so that when there are new additions, the standard banner wouldn't become completely obsolete, because even now, who really wants to roll on it? Another huge talking point of the Keqing banner and the Zhao banner as well is that they're only 2 weeks long. If you were an optimist, you would think hopefully this means that 1.4 will come 4 weeks after 1.3, that there will be a generally shorter time between updates, but we're smarter than that, guys. The rate at which we are getting brand new event content, brand new update content is only going to stay the same or get fewer and farther in between, but there is still a 2-week chunk missing at the end of 1.3 where there's no rate up banner. I really do think that MiHoYo is smarter than to just leave standard banner as the only thing to wish on for 2 weeks. So we could be getting someone like Chi-Chi for the other 2 weeks, another standard banner character turned rate up, or maybe, just maybe, this is the perfect time for them to introduce repeat 5-star rate ups like Venti, like Klee. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that outline of all the future updates for the next 6 months, seeing that Venti is projected to be a repeat 5-star rate up in 1.4, then Klee in 1.5, and so on. But this projection was based off the assumption that Hu Tao would be the other 1.3 rate up. The scheduling, the speculation, the leaks that we thought we saw may be thrown into complete disarray now with this. If Hu Tao is not squeezed into that 2-week slot after Keqing's banner, then that most likely means she's going to be in 1.4, which means a different 5-star is going to get pushed back and then another one after that. Now that there's a precedent, we can't put it past MiHoYo to delay more 5-stars in the future. It's apparent that they should have done that with Zhongli in the first place too, now that he's getting buffs after so many people complained about him. There is just so much to consider in the future of Genshin's development development of its direction is really up in the air now. The implications brought by this Keqing write-up, by this Hutao delay, could mean a lot of different things. Are they going to start focusing less on gacha, on new characters, and focusing more on story development, on quality of life improvements? Or is MiHoYo so far behind on their main focus, which is new characters, that everything else is going to be sidelined even harder than before? I have no idea. I really want to be hopeful, especially after the message from the head of MiHoYo saying that they are listening to us, that they are working hard to improve the game, to listen to us instead of just feeding off of our gacha addictions. But whether or not we'll actually see that come into fruition, only time will tell. I think with the events in 1.3, we'll get a good idea of Genshin's current direction. Is it going to be new immersive content that's going to make us want to play the game again, or is it just filler until they're able to introduce more gacha stuff? What do you guys think? Am I over-analyzing this a little bit too much? Make sure to let me know in the comments. Do you want things like Inazuma, like real story progression, to happen as soon as possible, or are you more interested in new characters? Whatever your opinions are, I always want to hear them, even if they affect my self-esteem in negative ways. If you did enjoy the content you saw today, make sure to leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Once again, check out the stream at twitch.tv/Spinecar. Take it easy. I wish you all the best of luck in your future summons. Hope you have a beautiful day, night, evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys next time.